Have you ever wondered what truly matters when you reach old age and find yourself alone? It is a thought that can bring a quiet ache to the heart, but it is also a powerful opportunity. As we age, many of us face moments when familiar faces fade away, whether through lost distance or the natural paths that life takes. But being alone does not have to mean being lonely, nor does it have to mean living without joy or purpose. In this video, we are going to explore 7 important things to follow when you find yourself in this stage of life. These are not just ideas. They are steps that can help you stay strong, feel connected, and create a life that reflects who you are at your core. From small daily habits that build emotional resilience to deeper ways of staying engaged with the world. Each one offers a way forward. Stay tuned until the end, because you will discover how these 7 things can help you not only protect your well-being, but also find new meaning and fulfillment in your later years. What you learn today might change how you see this season of your life and help you embrace it with confidence. Now let us begin. Number 1, build a daily rhythm that brings you peace. One of the most important things you can do when you find yourself alone in old age is to create a daily rhythm that grounds you. This rhythm does not have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler it is, the more powerful it can be. When you wake up in the morning, having a clear sense of what comes next gives shape to your day. It could be as simple as starting with a cup of coffee at the kitchen table, taking a slow walk through your yard, or reading a favourite book for 15 minutes. These small anchors help steady the heart and mind, especially when the house feels too quiet. People who build these peaceful routines often find that their days feel less empty and more full of gentle purpose. There is comfort in knowing that certain moments belong to you and only you. Over time, this rhythm becomes like a trusted friend offering stability. Even on days when emotions feel heavy, it helps remind you that no matter who is or is not at your side, you are still in control of how you spend your time. That sense of control is deeply tied to well-being at any age, but especially in later years when life can sometimes feel unpredictable. Let me share an example. There is a man named Harold, 83 years old, who lost his wife a few years ago. At first, his days felt long and hollow, but little by little, he started creating his own rhythm. Every morning, he opens the window to let in fresh air, feeds the birds in his backyard, and writes a few lines in a journal. In the afternoon, he listens to the radio and takes a short nap, and in the evening, he enjoys a simple meal while watching the sunset from his porch. These small, steady habits brought him comfort, giving his day shape and meaning, even without his beloved companion beside him. When you create and follow your own daily rhythm, you are building a foundation for emotional strength. You are telling yourself that your life still matters. Your time is still precious, and you are still the author of your story. And that in itself is a beautiful way to honour your years and your journey. Number 2, stay connected to the world beyond your doorstep when you are alone in old age. It can be tempting to slowly draw inward to shrink your world to the walls of your home. But one of the most powerful ways to protect your spirit is to keep reaching out. Even in small ways, staying connected does not always mean having deep conversations or large social gatherings. Sometimes it means exchanging a friendly wave with a neighbour, chatting for a few minutes with the cashier at the grocery store, or simply sitting on a park bench where you can hear the hum of life around you. These moments remind you that you are still part of the greater world, still woven into the fabric of community. People who stay engaged in these small, steady ways often find that their sense of loneliness eases. There is something about human contact, even brief and casual, that nourishes the heart. It reminds you that you belong, that you are seen, and this matters greatly when loved ones may no longer be close by. Over time, these small connections add up, building a quiet but meaningful network of warmth and recognition that can brighten even the darkest days. Consider Evelyn, a 78-year-old woman who lives by herself, after her children moved to other states. At first, she felt cut off, unsure of how to fill the quiet spaces in her life. But she made a choice to sit on her front porch every afternoon, to greet those passing by, to stop and ask about their day. Little by little, those brief exchanges grew into friendly relationships. The mail carrier paused for a longer chat. The neighbour's teenage grandson offered to help with groceries, and the woman down the street began to drop off fresh fruit from her garden. Evelyn found that the more she opened herself to these moments, the more connected she felt, not only to others, but to herself. Staying connected does not mean you have to change who you are or force yourself into situations that feel unnatural. It means allowing space for small interactions to lift your spirit, to remind you that you are not alone. Even when it feels that way, if you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, keep your body moving in ways that feel good when you are in a season of life where there is no one left by your side. It is easy for physical activity to slip away. The days can feel long and without a companion to encourage you. It might seem simpler to remain seated to let the hours pass quietly, but keeping your body moving even gently is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Movement does not have to mean structured exercise or long walks that feel like a chore. It can be as simple as standing up and stretching your arms toward the ceiling, rolling your shoulders, or taking a slow stroll to the mailbox and back. What matters is that you remind your body that it is still strong, still capable, still yours. The beauty of gentle, regular movement is that it supports not only your body, but your mind. When you move even a little, you invite fresh air into your lungs. You encourage your blood to flow, and you lift your mood in ways that sitting still simply cannot match. This helps ease stiffness, supports balance, and can even improve your sleep at night. But perhaps most importantly, it gives you a sense of agency, a reminder that you are still in charge of how you care for yourself. Take Walter, for example, a man of 80 who lives alone in a small apartment for a time. He found himself barely leaving his chair, feeling as though there was little reason to move. But after a health scare that left him feeling vulnerable, he decided to make a change each morning. He opens his curtains wide, does a few stretches by the window, and walks up and down the hallway of his building, twice before breakfast in the afternoon. He steps outside, even if only to stand in the sun for a few minutes. These small acts of movement helped him regain not just strength, but hope, giving him a sense of accomplishment that brightened his spirit. The truth is, your body is your lifelong companion. It deserves your kindness, your care, and your attention. When you choose to move, you are choosing life in its simplest, most powerful form. You are saying to yourself that you matter, that today is worth showing up for, and that even when you are alone, you can create moments of strength and vitality. Movement, in all its humble forms, is one of the purest ways to honour your journey. Number 4. Create small joys that are just for you when the house feels quiet and the days stretched long. It can be easy to focus on what is missing, but one of the most healing things you can do is to fill your life with small joys, simple pleasures that are yours alone. These joys do not need to be grand or costly. Often it is the smallest comforts that bring the greatest peace. It might be tending to a potted plant on your windowsill, playing a favourite old song while you sip your tea, or baking a simple loaf of bread that fills the room with warmth. The key is to choose moments that lift your heart and remind you that life, even in its quietest hours, still holds beauty when you create small joys for yourself. You give your spirit something to look forward to. You break up the sameness of the day with bits of light and colour. And these moments become a gentle way of caring for yourself, of saying, I am still here and I am worthy of kindness. Over time, these simple pleasures can help shift your focus from what you have lost to what you still have and what you can still create. Consider Frank, a man of 79 who lives alone. After his brother passed away, the silence of his home felt heavy at first, but Frank began to find comfort in small routines that brought him joy. He started each day by lighting a candle at breakfast, a quiet reminder to be present, and grateful. In the evenings he listened to classical Seth as he cleaned up the kitchen, letting the familiar melodies soothe him. And once a week he treated himself to a fresh bouquet of flowers from the market. Something lovely just for his own table. These small acts helped fill his days with gentle purpose and colour, making the solitude feel less like emptiness and more like peaceful space. The power of small joys is that they are always within reach. They do not depend on anyone else's presence or approval. They are a way of staying connected to yourself, of finding beauty and meaning in the everyday. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5, make peace with your memories as the years go by and you find yourself alone. Memories can feel like both a comfort and a weight. There are days when they bring a smile, a song that reminds you of a dance long ago, the scent of a meal that takes you back to your mother's kitchen, the sight of an old photograph that warms your heart. But there are also moments when memories bring sadness, when the echo of a loved one's voice or the thought of a time that will not return stirs feelings of longing or regret. It is natural to feel both. What matters most is how you choose to carry those memories. Making peace with your memories means allowing them to visit without letting them take over your spirit. It means honouring what was good, forgiving what was painful, and gently setting down the parts that no longer serve you. This does not mean forgetting, it means finding a way to let your memories be part of your story without letting them weigh you down. In doing so, you free yourself to live fully in the present, to see today for what it is, a gift that still holds promise. Let me share the story of Helen, an 85-year-old woman who lived for decades with a heavy heart after losing her only child for many years. She avoided looking at photographs or talking about the past, afraid that the sorrow would overwhelm her. But with time, she began to approach her memories differently. She created a small corner in her home with a framed picture and a candle, a place where she could sit quietly and honour the love she would always carry. She began to speak more openly about her child, sharing happy stories with friends and neighbours. In doing so, Helen found that her memories became less of a burden and more of a source of quiet strength. When you make peace with your memories, you give yourself permission to remember with love rather than pain. You remind yourself that your past shaped you, but it does not have to define your future. It is one of the kindest gifts you can give. Your heart, helping you step into each new day with a little more lightness and grace. Number Seth finds simple ways to be useful when you reach a stage in life where you are alone. It can sometimes feel as if your sense of purpose fades with the passing years. But the truth is, no matter your age, you have something valuable to offer. Finding small, simple ways to be useful can fill your days with meaning and remind you that you still make a difference. This might be as humble as helping a neighbour carry their groceries, sharing extra vegetables from your garden, or calling to check on a friend who is going through a hard time. The key is not the size of the gesture, but the heart behind it. People who choose to be useful, even in small ways, often find that their own burdens feel lighter when you extend a hand to someone else. You create a bond, a sense of shared humanity that can brighten even the loneliest day. You remind yourself that you are part of something larger, that your life still touches others in ways that matter. These acts of kindness, no matter how simple, can fill your own heart with warmth and pride. Take the example of Robert, a man of 81 who lives alone in a quiet neighbourhood after his wife passed away. He felt aimless for a time, unsure of what his days should look like. But one morning he noticed that his neighbours' trash bins were heavy and difficult to move without being asked. He began pulling them to the curb each week. Soon he started leaving small notes of encouragement for a young family down the street and offering to water the plants of friends when they travelled. These simple efforts gave Robert's day shape and purpose. They reminded him that his presence still mattered, that he still had something to give. Being useful is not about grand gestures or recognition. It is about finding small ways to brighten another's day, and in doing so, brighten your own. If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number Seth below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 7, keep hope alive for what is yet to come. When you are in a season of life where you find yourself alone, it can be easy to believe that the best moments are behind you. The truth is, there are still new joys, discoveries and connections waiting. Even in the later chapters of your story, keeping hope alive means staying open to those possibilities. It means believing that life still holds surprises, that your heart can still be stirred by beauty, that a new friend, a new interest, or a fresh purpose may be just around the corner. Hope does not always arrive in grand, sweeping moments. More often, it shows up quietly in the first bloom of spring outside your window, in a kind word from a stranger at the market, or in the satisfaction of learning something new. The simple act of looking ahead with curiosity rather than fear can change the way each day feels. It helps you greet each morning with a sense of wonder rather than dread, and that shift in outlook can bring a richness to your life that is hard to put into words. Think of Carolyn, an 84-year-old woman who spent several years feeling that nothing new could come her way. One afternoon, on a whim, she attended a community art class at the library there. She met people who shared her love of painting, and soon she was part of a small group that gathered weekly to create and to laugh together. Caroline discovered that even in her 8th decade, she could still make new friends, still uncover new talents, and still feel the thrill of possibility. Hope gave her a reason to look forward again. When you choose to keep hope alive, you are choosing to honour the truth that life is not finished with you. Yet, there are still moments of joy to be felt, still kindness to give and receive, still memories to make. And that hope is what helps turn the quiet of solitude into the peace of possibility. Thoughts soy as we come to the end of this video. Take a quiet moment to reflect on the 7 things we have explored together today. Which of these spoke to you most deeply? Which do you see already at work in your life, or which do you feel ready to embrace as you move forward? The journey of growing older, especially when we find ourselves alone, can feel daunting at times, but within that quiet space lies the chance to rediscover your strength, your wisdom, and your ability to shape each day with meaning. These 7 things are not about filling time for the sake of it. They are about honouring yourself, your spirit, your body, your memories, and your hope. They remind you that even when others may no longer be by your side, you are never truly without purpose or value. Each small choice, each gentle act is a way of saying to yourself that your life still matters, that your days still hold light and promise what stood out to you the most. We would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below, sharing one thing you learned today and how you plan to bring it into your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so do not hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.